Hello my beautiful scoliosis friends, my name is Claudia, I'm a scoliosis coach and I'm going to be taking you through a Pilates workout suitable obviously for people with scoliosis and a fusion. It's going to be suitable for beginners, but it is going to be difficult. There's definitely, intermediates and advanced can benefit from this as well. I'll give options for beginners, but I will take things a little bit more challenging, so prepare for that. And we're going to need a mat today. I recommend maybe playing some music on in the background, get a bit of a vibe going. So the first thing we are going to start with is our standing scoliosis corrections. We're going to start standing, and then for the rest of today's class we're going to be coming down onto the mat. So for our first thing, I just want us to really bring awareness to our scoliosis and to our breath before we begin to come down and start doing all of the more difficult stuff, although this is difficult. So we're going to bring our heels together and have the toes pointing out roughly 45 degrees. I want you to check that your toes are pointing in the same direction. You have a soft bend in your knees, so please don't lock out your legs, and that your hips are not rotating. If you have a hip rotation or a lumbar curve, just being aware of that we're not rotating through the hips. Check that your hips aren't shifting off to the side. We want to try and correct everything, aka bring everything back into a more neutral alignment, because with scoliosis we do tend to go off that. I'm exaggerating it, but you know what I mean. So we're going to correct ourselves as much as possible, always starting from the base and working our way up. Hips, trying to get them level, and rib cage, obviously, if you have a curve taking you off to the side, you can push your hands into your hips and elongate through your curve as much as you can, but make sure you don't flare your rib cage as you elongate. So you need to squeeze your tummy muscles to stop your front ribs from flaring forward. We do not want that. So in this position, you're then going to take the hands to the crown of your head and push your head up into your hands. Squeeze your tummy muscles, don't flare the ribs. We're holding this position, and this is our standing scoliosis corrections, where we've just corrected our curviness and rotations as much as possible. Then we're going to take the hand to our shoulders, elbows in line with shoulders, and think about reaching your elbows away from each other. We're going to just hold here for a moment and get some nice deep breaths. Getting a big inhale, open and expand through the back of your rib cage. Exhale, keeping the length. Inhale, open, expand. If you know where your concavities are, especially if you have one in the ribs, thinking about those as we open and expand. Exhale, keep the expansion, keep the length. One more time, big inhale, open, expand, elongate. Exhale, keep the length. I'm going to let you just relax your arms for a second, because we're going to come back into that. We're going to add some tiptoes into it. So we're going to start to strengthen our feet, our calves, the whole body. Tiptoes is really harder than it sounds. So hands to, let's do hands to the crown of the head. Push up into your hands. Make sure you've elongated and you're correcting yourself as much as you can. Hands back to the shoulders. This is just an option for tiptoes. You can stay with your heels down if you would prefer. But we're going to take an inhale, come high up onto the tiptoes and lengthen as much as you can up to the ceiling. Holding here. Exhale, keep the length. Slowly lower the heels down to the ground. Inhale, come high up onto the tiptoes, holding here. Exhale, slowly lowering down. Inhale, coming high up onto the tiptoes, hold those corrections, elongate as much as you can. Exhale, slowly lower. We're going to do it 3 more times. Inhale, high up onto the tiptoes. Can you get a little bit higher? Exhale, slowly lower. And again, inhale, high up onto the tiptoes. Exhale, lower. And one more time. Inhale, coming high up onto the tiptoes. Exhale, lower. Woo. Good. You can relax, give your arms a little wiggle. We're going come down onto the mat in our tabletop position. So in our tabletop position, we can tuck our back toes under, make sure knees are underneath our hips, hands are underneath our shoulders. Spread the fingertips nice and wide. Take a moment to think about your scoliosis. Protract through your shoulder blades, and if you know what way you rotate with your scoliosis, through the upper back and maybe into the lower back and the hips as well, just be aware of that. So for example, with the right thoracic curve, it might be common for your left ribs to want to rotate down towards the ground. So you really need to be careful that you're not doing that throughout all of the Pilates exercises that we're going to be doing today. So we're going to start with a bird dog variation. I want you to squeeze your tummy muscles really hard. Keep that protraction through the shoulder blades, don't round into the lower back. You want to keep your natural lordotic curve. We're going to extend the left leg back behind us and the right arm out in front. Squeeze and try and stay as stable as you can. Flex your back toes, have your right thumb facing up towards the ceiling. From here, we're going to gently lower, tap, and come back up. Good, we're going to go for 8, 7, 6, nice. Think about your back muscles, think about your core, your glutes, keep everything as stable as possible. Almost there. We'll go 2 and 1. Hold it up. Hold it, hold it, hold it. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. 3, 2, 1. Well done. We're going to switch to the other side, extending the right leg back. Left arm is going to reach forward. Be aware of what you're doing. Make sure you're not falling into your scoliosis. And then we're going to do those taps. So we're going to gently lower and come back up. Squeezing down the back of the body. Working our core, working our posterior chain. So all the muscles down the back. We'll go 4, 3, 2, 1, and hold it there. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Good, try to stay stable. 3, 2, 1. Nice. Well done. Then we're going to come down onto our bellies. Don't worry, we're not going to be here for very long. I know it's not very comfortable, especially if you have boobies. So you can untuck your toes. You're going to bend your elbows, have your hands out in front slightly. As you're lying here, I want you to think about elongating as much as you can through your spine. It's going to be hard in this position, but just have that awareness. Then we're going to do some gentle lifts, opposite arm and leg. Very, very small lifts. So you're going to lift your left arm and your right leg just off the ground like 2 or 3 centimeters. And then back down. Right arm, left leg. Good. We're going to alternate. One side, come up, hold. Down. Other side, come up, hold. And down. Good. Keep alternating from one side to the other. Thinking about keeping that elongation in the spine. Trying to not let your hips rotate as you lift your legs. Try not to let your ribs rotate as you lift your arms. All things to think about. Our body will always want to go into its scoliosis rotation because that's where we're strongest. So we need to be aware of that and try to stop it from happening. We're going to do 3 more like this, and then we're going to go arms and legs all together. And 1. Good. From here, we're going to lift the arms, lift the legs, just a little hold, squeeze the back muscles. Let's go. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Relax. We're going to do that again. Coming up, hold, lift. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Relax. We're going to do it one more time. Coming up, hold, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Woo. Well done. We're going to come back up onto all 4s. No more lying on the boobies. We're going to start to work our glutes a little bit more, but of course I want you to really be aware of keeping your spine and your hips as stable as possible. So we're going to send the left leg up, and as you send that left leg back behind you, please don't arch into your lower back, pushing the ground away from your hands, kind of like you're in a plank. You can gently let your left knee just open up slightly, and then we're going to bring that knee back and then back up. Flex your toes, try and keep that whole leg active. We're moving from bringing the knee up to sending it back. You're really keeping your core strong here. You're not arching into the lower back. Think about keeping length through your spine and focusing on that left glute as we send it back. Not rushing it either. Being very slow and gentle with our movements. We'll do 3 more like this. 3, 2, and 1. We're going to hold it up, and then you're going to open your left knee and extend your left leg out. Tap your toe to the side. Woof. And then we're going to bring it back into this position. Extend the leg out, tap the toe, and bring it back. Good, you're doing so well. Knee extends out, tap the toe. Try to keep control. Not letting anything in the core, the spine move. We're being very, very slow, very gentle with our movements. Bringing it out and in. 3 more. Coming out and in. 2. And 1 more. You're going to hold the leg out, and we're going to go little pulses up and down. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Keeping your left leg extended out, you're going to gently slide back and forward. And I want you to keep the length in your spine. Please don't round into the back as you're coming back and forward. Sliding back and forward. So now we're just getting some movement into our hips, but we're still working our core here. Getting some stretch through that inner thigh. We'll go 2 and 1. Good, well done. I'm just going to turn around, but you can stay the same way. I just don't have any space to do that same thing on the other side. So, getting ready, your tabletop position, we're going to do all the same on the other side. Squeeze your core, think about your scoliosis, keep length in the spine, and let's go with that right leg. Send it back. Flex your toes, try and keep your foot active. Tap back. Now focusing on your right glute. Getting that muscle to do all of the work, but you're still working your core. You're not overarching into your lower back. You're staying focused, trying to move with intention, not just flailing the leg around behind you. Let's go 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hold it back. And then let's take this leg out, tap the right leg to the ground, and then back up. Whew. Coming out, tap, and back up. Good. Keep aware of what's going on with your core, your hips, your spine. Try not to let the hips wiggle from side to side. Almost there. We'll go 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hold it out, and let's do those little pulses coming up. Good. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So keeping that right leg out, now we're going to go forward and back. Try not to round into your back as you send your hips back. Think about keeping length. You'll feel a stretch through that right inner thigh as we get some movement through that right hip. Slowly forward and back. Let's go 2 more. Good. Now from our all fours, we're going to tuck our back toes under. We're going to be coming up into our downward facing dog. You're lengthening through the spine. You can keep a soft bend in your knees. Option to stay here if this is difficult enough, or you can lift your left leg, extending it up high. And from here, we're going to do some little pulses. So you're going to go little pulses with that leg up and down. Good. Keep pushing through your hands. We'll go 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Well done. Come forward into a plank position. Hold it here. Squeeze your core. Option to come onto the knees. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Back to downward facing dog, and then right leg can come up, or just hold your dog, and we're going to go with those pulses. Think about your glutes, think about your spine, keep length in the spine. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Woo. Come into your plank, hold it there, squeeze your core, option to come onto the knees. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Well done. Let's take a quick puppy pose. So back, tuck your back toes under, send your hips halfway back between your knees and ankles, and just reach your arms out in front to lengthen the spine. This is our scoliosis version that is focusing on elongation. So don't flare through your ribs. We're just giving the spine a little breather before our next exercise. Big deep breaths through the back of the body. 1 more. And then coming back onto all fours. We are going to work our core. And again, this is going to be difficult. So you're going to be having your back toes tucked under. I'm going to give you the options here. You can either do, we're going to do our beast, or what I call a beast. So you push the ground away through your hands, squeeze your tummy muscles, and hover your knees off the ground. You're either going to hold this position, and you can gently tap the knees back down, and then back up, or just hold. Or you're going to join in with me for the really difficult version of that. So any way that you're doing, let's come up into our beast, hover the knees off the ground. They stay close to the ground. If you're joining in with me, we're going to bring the left knee in and back. Right knee in and back. Try not to let the hips rock. Squeeze your core. Left knee in and back. Right knee in and back. Good. We're almost there. Let's go. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. You got this. You're doing so well. 2 and 1. Let's see that puppy pose again. Stretch it out. And then we're going to come and lie down onto our back for some glute bridge variations. So lying down on our back, keeping a neutral spine, not letting the rib cage flare, not slamming your lower back down into the mat. Feet can come out wide, just over shoulder width apart. You can have a little bit of external rotation through your toes. You're going to use your glutes. You're going to hinge at your hips, and you're going to push your hips up towards the ceiling, not flaring through the ribs and pushing up through your lower back. We want to keep the ribs and pelvis aligned here and squeeze from our glute muscles. Holding this position. If this is enough for you, please just stay here. If you want to take it a level more difficult, you can think about maybe just walking your right foot in slightly, and we're going to try and extend the left leg up. Try not to lose height in the hips, and we're going to do some little pulses with that left leg. Coming up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Well done. Lower down. Prepare yourself for the other side. And let's go. Push the hips up. Stabilize through your left foot. And squeeze those glutes. Try not to lose height. as we reach that right leg up, and we can pulse. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good, well done. Back into our double-footed glute bridge position. We're going to come back up, push the hips up, squeeze the tummy muscles, squeeze the glutes. We're going to do some little pulses with the knees in and out. So hold it here, pulse the knees in and out. These are very gentle millimeter movements. Squeezing the glutes, maybe even take your hands there. So really think about those muscles. We'll go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And gently lower down. We're going to do one more thing in that position. So we're going to come back up. We're going to do the little pulses in and out with the knees. Option if you want to lift your feet off the ground and flex your toes. If not, just holding your feet flat. Little pulses. Last time we're going to be here, I promise. Keep it going. Little pulse in and out. Feel those muscles down the side of your hips. We'll go 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Oof. Well done. We're so almost there. So now we're going to come onto our side. So left side. Your left hand is underneath your left shoulder. Shuffle up a bit. Your right knee is underneath your right hip. And you can take your hand to your hip on this right side. Be aware of your scoliosis and your rotations. Make sure you're not rotating forward. If you have a right thoracic curve, you could take your hand to your shoulder like this. But if you don't know, don't worry about it. Just keep your hand on your hip. I do have a right thoracic curve, so I'm going to come up here. We're going to pulse this right leg. So we're going to come up, flex your toes, down and up, down and up. And we're also kind of in a side plank position here. So please squeeze your core really hard. Make sure you're not sinking your hips down to the ground. You're sinking into your curve. Good, and you're thinking about those muscles down the side of the hip. We're going to go 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hold it up. You're going to point and flex your toe. Point and flex your toe. Point and flex your toe. Almost there. We're going to swing this foot forward and back. Try not to let anything in the torso move. Forward and back. Forward and back. Forward and back. We'll do one more. Forward and back. Woof. Well done. We're just going to do one more time on the other side and then we can have a stretch. You're doing so well. So right hand is going to be underneath the right shoulder. Left arm, left leg is reaching out to the side. Being aware not to sink into any scoliosis curves as we're in this side position. Also be aware of your neck. Don't let your neck just dangle. So I'm going to have my hand on the hip on this side. You can join me. We're going to have if you have a left thoracic curve, you could bring your hand to your shoulder here. Hand on the hip, we're going to come up and down. You can flex your toes, just try and keep your toes active. Think about this muscle all down the side of the hip, but also your core, you're trying to keep yourself really long and elongated. Oof. You're doing so well. We're almost there. So nearly at the end of class. Let's go 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hold it up. Point and flex. Point and flex. Can you get a bit longer through your spine? Point and flex. Point and flex. And then let's do those little slide forward, slide back. Try not to move the hips. Don't move the spine. Everything is controlled. I know it's hard. You're doing so well though. We're almost there. One more time. And back. Oh my gosh. Whew. Well done. Let's give our spines a nice stretch. So we're going to come back into our puppy pose. So on all fours, tuck the back toes under, send the hips halfway between your knees and ankles, and then walk your arms forward. And take some nice big deep breaths into the back of your rib cage. Really try and elongate as much as you can. Three more deep breaths. Whew. And coming back up. Good, well done today, my beautiful scoliosis friend. I'm so proud of you if you made it through this because it was tough. If you want to do more exercises like this, want to learn more about your scoliosis and exercises specific for your curve, please do head to thescoliocoach.com and check out my scoliosis membership. So maybe I'll see you there, but if not, have a wonderful rest of your day.